Welcome to the Fancy Lady Music Channel. I'm Ronnie Sheila Moody. Today we are walking through one of San Francisco's most spiritual neighborhoods, the Mission District. And we are walking from the Mission to Dolores Park for the sunset in honor of Donald Tabby Shaw's 70th birthday. So, as you know, Tabby was cut down in his prime 3 years ago in a horrible act of gun violence. So today I am also walking in support of the families and individuals and friends who have lost loved ones to gun violence. Gun violence is an epidemic in the Caribbean and in America, Western civilization, and we have to put a stop to it. So I'm walking in solidarity. This is my personal California visual, and of course you will see that I have a plastic flameless candle. Let's turn this sucker on. Okay, flameless candle in honor of Donald Tabby Shaw. I don't know if we're allowed to walk on the street with legitimate candles. Anyway, okay. So here we are. Walking through my old neighborhood. This is actually, of all the places that I've lived in San Francisco, the Mission is actually my favorite district. It is so rooted in spirituality with all kinds of people from the African and Latin diaspora here. You have people from Mexico, Guatemala, El Salvador, what is that country? Nicaragua, Puerto Rico, Honduras, all types of people from the Latin diaspora here in the Mission, with of course a lot of African influence. As a matter of fact, I don't know why more Caribbean peoples and African peoples don't congregate to the Mission, but anyways, yeah. In the 2000s, parts of the Mission became gentrified and trendy, and all of the hipsters and tech people wanted to live here because of its cuisine. All the foodies wanted to live here because of diverse cuisine, and because the abundance of sunlight. So the sun is kind of bright. We're passing through a lot of local restaurants. You know, the Mission reminds me a lot of cross between Olivera Street in LA and Harlem in New York. Well, as you can see, it's a very densely populated area. That's very vibrant, family-oriented neighborhood. Now, the Diamonds, when they were on tour, ironically, the Mighty Diamonds, Tabby and the Mighty Diamonds, would often stop here for food in the Mission. There's this Mexican place they like, and they got this strange soup. I swear to God, this soup that Bunny was eating had a chicken foot in it, right? And it was like a Jamaican soup. mixed up with a lot of stuff. I was going to see if I could find that restaurant, but who's that over there? That's a Bob Marley mural over there, and we're headed towards Valencia. That's the trendy part of the mission. And over here is a spiritual shop. Okay. We are headed towards Valencia Street, which is one of the trendier spots of the mission. And this is a sunset walk for those of you. Welcome, welcome. Welcome everybody in. This is a candlelit walk and celebrating the 70th birthday of Donald Tabby Shaw of the Mighty Diamonds. It's would have been Tabby's 70th birthday, but he was taken too soon in a shameless act of gun violence. So what I'm doing is walking in solidarity with the families and the loved ones of the victims of gun violence and trying to help join forces to eradicate gun violence in our era. If anyone on this live wants to see an end to gun violence, type the name Tabby in the chat, Tabby. If you want to see an end to reckless gun violence and senseless gun violence. Anyway, so here we are on Valencia Street, right? Valencia is the trendy part of the mission, and we got a little fruit stand, some Indian corn. And that's one of my favorite bakeries over there, Azamendi Bakery. Okay. Again, welcome to the Fancy Lady News channel. We are walking to Dolores Park in honor of the 70th birthday of Donald Tabby Shaw of the Mighty Diamonds. We are headed to a popular spot near the mission. It's called Dolores Park to watch the sunset. And what I'm doing is I'm taking everybody on a historical tour through San Francisco's Mission District. Now, the Mighty Diamonds would often come to the mission to eat. The tour manager would bring them here because the diversity of the food and the price of the food. So at these local family-owned taquerias and family-owned restaurants, you could really get a lot for your money. Again, people here come from all over the Latin diaspora and other parts of America as well. Okay, so we are approaching 23rd Street. And this is the dinner era, right? So a lot of your cute, tucked away, hidden, high-end restaurants should be populated, and parking is going to be extremely hard to find during the dinner hour. You can see the restaurants trying to build up, and you can see the steeple of a historic church over there. The Mission is a very, very trendy and vibrant community. I really miss living here in the Mission. I lived here for a few years during the pandemic. I lived in a 14-room house, a 14-room Victorian with roommates. It's a beautiful home. I'm an Aquarian and I'm neurodivergent. I'm very private, so I had to leave the mission, unfortunately, to get my own place. But this is one of my favorite parts of San Francisco. Yeah, and the Diamonds, like I said, not only performed at local clubs here in the Mission, but they were really fond of eating here. I definitely remember Bunny Diamond, Fitzroy Bunny Simpson, and that soup from the taqueria with the chicken's foot in it. And I remember everybody, including Tabby, getting these big containers of soup. We have another trendy store called Needles and Pens.
White couple, right? They ran across the street behind me.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay, this is another little store. I hope one of my favorite perfumeries is open. They make their own local perfume and colognes and incense and things like that right here on Valencia Street. So we'll see if they're open. This is City College. City College is free. City College is actually free to San Francisco residents. If you are new to San Francisco or want to move here, I guess you establish residency and you could take free classes here, sanctioned by the city. Here's a mural. And so we are in City College. I actually took an advanced fiction writing class through City College, and I loved it. Here's a, don't forget to vote, y'all. A true democracy is when everybody has a chance to do the right thing. That's a quote from my bestie, David Hines of Steel Pulse. David just wrote a blog on the great Tabby Diamond honoring his birthday. Stay tuned for a huge surprise involving the Mighty Diamonds and Steel Pulse. It hasn't been, I'm dying to tell people, but I can't. But when it's going to blow your mind when you hear about it. Connection between the Mighty Diamonds and Steel Pulse that will be unveiled soon. I'd say by 2026. You should hear something. I just spoke with David, and he said he's not ready to reveal it yet, but when he does, it's going to blow your minds. Okay, so yes, we're going deeper into Valencia Street. And you know what? It looks like the current mayor, Daniel Laurie, has done a good job in his team of cleaning up these streets. During the pandemic and shortly after, these streets were filthy. There were all kinds of garbage on the street and graffiti. So it looks like this administration has made a good effort to actually clean up the city and make it safe, make these streets safe and livable again. I remember when I lived here, there was trash piled up everywhere. The good thing was it was very quiet during COVID, so I could put my mask on, right, and take a nice peaceful walk through the Mission. Now, as people came out of lockdown, it's become getting back to how it was pre-pandemic, right? Okay. So, again, welcome to the Fancy Lady Music channel. Please hit the like button and subscribe and share this live. I actually started this Fancy Lady Music channel in honor of Donald Tabby Shaw, because the last song I heard him sing at my request was Fancy Lady, written by the great Judge Diamond. He wrote most of the songs for the Mighty Diamonds, Lloyd Judge Ferguson. I love that song, Fancy Lady. So my music channel used to be called David Mitch Associates. Now, for those, I don't think anybody would ever be able to figure this out, but David Mitch was an alias that Michael Jackson used to get his prescriptions. Yes, Michael Jackson would create many fake names to get drugs, and David Mitch was one of them because he wanted to be anonymous, right? So in celebration of Michael Jackson, my channel was originally called David Mitch Associates, but after Tabby passed, I renamed the channel Fancy Lady. So there you go, Fancy Lady Music Channel. So yeah, we owe a lot musically, spiritually to the great Donald Tabby Shaw, who's been categorized as one of the greatest vocalists of all times, just in terms of sheer emotion and sheer technique. You don't find any singers like Tabby anywhere. You know, that type of talent is rare, it's spiritual, and it's nurtured, right? So, yeah, anyway, yes, we're still walking through the Mission. We're on our way to Dolores Park. And once again, I'm walking in solidarity for the victims of senseless gun violence and their survivors. And, ministry. That's where we want to go. Okay, so we are going to cross the street here. We are watching carefully cars. We're going to go over here to a place called the Ministry of Scent. Now, if anybody types Tabby's favorite scent into the chat and gets it right, you will win a free gift from the Fancy Lady Music Channel. Just leave your contact information. So, anyhow, yes, this is the Ministry of Scent. They're local, and they have all kinds of exotic perfumes and colognes right here near the Mission on Valencia Street. It's one of my favorite places. Yeah, it smells like Wakanda, y'all. It smells so good in there. And over here you'll see some of San Francisco's trademark painted Victorians. We got lavender, blue, yellow, and gray. Blue, of course, is the favorite color of Donald Tabby Shaw. Yes, welcome in everybody. And we are 4 blocks away from Dolores Park. Yes, welcome everyone. Nice art store. Tokyo futon. This is a very international strip that we're walking through. This is one of the high-end boutiques. And the Smitten ice cream parlor right here, during Kamala Harris's run, they actually had an ice cream named after Kamala Harris. And dog-eared books. This is one of the oldest bookstores in San Francisco. We're approaching their 20th Street. Okay, yes. So welcome everybody.
How do you not know that it's not public?
So, and we are getting ready to pass a restaurant that says authentic Ethiopian cuisine. You know, in all my years of living in San Francisco, it's another high-end trendy boutique. I've never patronized this Ethiopian spot right here. I wonder, looks like they're closed. Yeah, they're closed. Anyway, so yeah, this is a strip that's known for its international cuisine. My friend and I ate here in this district one New Year's Eve. It was a real fancy restaurant. I'm not sure, but I had the most wonderful lamb and mashed potato dish. And here's a little park. There's a little park where people bring their kids after school and after work. People wind down here after a long day. This this is the part that reminds me of Harlem, New York. I was just in Harlem. Everybody knows With the Pulse, and I absolutely loved it. The history, the folklore, just the eccentricity of it all. You know, New York is the one place I could walk down the street and not feel like a weirdo. Okay, because there's so much going on that nobody is paying attention to me at all. But, you know, here in San Francisco, being an Aquarian and neurodivergent with an anxiety disorder, right? Sometimes I feel like people are staring, but you know what? My good friend told me, who cares if they are? Yeah. So, and I remember that back in the 90s, when I lived at Vernal Heights, the great Tabby Diamond and I escorted him to get a movie. We had Blockbusters then, right? So I lived on a hill in Vernal Heights, and it took us down here to the Mission. Oh man, he did not like walking up that hill. It's like you could have told me that we were walking all of this way, right? But you see, I'm a walker, so, and I'm trying to get more into it. But I guess for this amount of walking, you cannot be probably winding down after a tour. You just want to relax, right? And of course, if you're the lead singer, the main person, you want to be, yeah, but once you start walking and looking at things, I guarantee you will enjoy it. You will have a good time. Okay, so that place over there is called the Chapel, right? And people like the Mad Professor, the Scientist, different reggae acts have played there at the Chapel. It's beautiful in there. It's a regular club. Shout out to my friend Sakai and her band and her group. My friend Sakai and her group, they have performed there at the Chapel. Another, here's a live fitness. You could see we're passing the gym now. And you can see this pretty day, the birthday of Tabby Diamond, is evolving and morphing into a beautiful evening and sunset. Oh, look at these people got ice cream. What's that? Ooh, yum, 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 yum. So, okay, so I'm gonna take you into another one of my all-time favorite joints. It's called Dandelion Chocolates. And on a cozy, colder evening, I like to come in here for homemade hot chocolate. Oh, yeah. Many types of international chocolates. This is one of my favorite places, and you could actually taste some chocolates here. It's called Dandelion Chocolates. Hey, buddy. Hey. All right, so it's a lot of dog walkers out. Shout out to my pet parents, the parents of the fur babies. Anyway, welcome to the Fancy Lady Music Channel. We're celebrating the birthday of Donald Tabby Shaw and walking in solidarity with the people who have lost loved ones to senseless gun violence and the victims of gun violence. Gun violence has no more place in society. Oh, look, a vintage store. You could get some cowboy boots, some knickknacks. Yes. I think more people with the state of the economy. Here's another high-end restaurant. And again, it's dinner time, so people are winding down, going out on the town. It's another famous taqueria. Okay. So, oh, Moody's. That's my name. How'd that get up there? Huh. Oh, well, maybe that's a sign. Or a wink from Tabby. That's what that was. Hey, Tabby, you remember the mission? Wow. So this is like a haircutting place. Dumpling store. Never been in there before, but it looks good. So when we get to Dolores Park, I'm going to sit down on the grassy knoll and I'm going to show y'all what I bought today at the local spiritual shop in honor of the birthday of Donald Tabby Shaw. And there was a place in the Mission called Brick and Mortar. And the Diamonds were supposed to play there 1 year. I even collected the deposit. Went, got their deposit, and I put it in the bank. But for some reason, that show did not materialize. Now, we were on tour. We were late getting back to San Francisco. And as I was driving up, I said, it looks like this show is canceled because I don't see the Mighty Diamonds name on the marquee. And I guess Tabby liked the word marquee. And he, of course, I could have said, then your name. I don't see the Mighty Diamonds name on the sign. But yeah, he liked the way I said marquee. So yeah, we're approaching the Mission Police Station. Y'all, I got some tea for you. This is where one of my old roommates filed a restraining order against the other one. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I left the Mission. Too much drama. Fancy lady, do not like drama. No more. That's T-Mobile where I got my phone upgrade. My friend Val tells me that this is a real good restaurant. I've never been in here either. And speaking of drama, it looks like there might be some going on. Anyway, welcome to the Fancy Lady Music Channel. We're celebrating the life and career of Donald Orlando Shaw, Tabby Diamond, who was taken in his prime. Yes, 70 is prime now, especially for a legacy artist. Y'all, we're also marching in solidarity with the victims of gun violence and their families, their loved ones who have lost people to gun violence. We are trying to eradicate gun violence from even being a threat or a thing. And speaking of gun violence, you know, I had two scary experiences at the airport. There was a confrontation involving some pow-pows, and a deranged individual had been waving a pow-pow at some police right near the BART entrance where I exit on the way to work. And as soon as I got off the BART, the station agent says, turn back, you're gonna be shot. And I got on the air train and I took into my office building, right? And ironically, one of the supervisors was headed out of the building, because we were being evacuated. And my dumb butt is running back into the building for safety, but no, during an incident like that, you're supposed to run out, right? So that incident was so scary because the person that was holding the pow pow, it turned out to be a fake pow pow. It wasn't real, but the cops didn't know that. So, and so they ended up eliminating the holder of the pow pow. And it happened when we were there. A lot of people from our office was traumatized. And so, yeah, we all had to go to counseling. We all recommended counseling after that. Another incident took place when I was walking with my friend. She was already on chemo. God bless Colleen. She's in heaven now with me. But I had just dropped her off and I was headed back home. And all of a sudden, I see somebody running. And here, oh, this is the historic Roxy Theater. This is historic. A lot of reggae movies play here. Okay, so we're gonna go over here. My friend likes this cream ice cream shop, but I think it's too indulgent and too sweet for me. Ice cream on cookies. That's a diabetic coma waiting to happen. But I'll show y'all my favorite ice cream shop. We're gonna hit it. And the second act of gun violence that I witnessed was I was walking down Market Street. I just dropped my friend off. She was fighting cancer and getting rounds of chemo, and so all of us were walking down 18th Street. This is a historical land where a lot of political activities takes place, and they also have services for women, social services, and again, it's another crowded restaurant. We are headed to Dolores Park to meet the sunset in celebration of the 70th birthday of Tabby Shaw. And in case you're wondering, yes, Tabby and the Diamonds did frequent the mission. Most likely to eat for its diverse food cuisine. Restaurant, some of the cuisine of Honduras, Guatemala, Nicaragua, Mexico. That's similar to Caribbean cuisine, so they could find fish, a lot of the fish dishes and soups and stuff that they liked. So we're headed to Mission and Guerrero. Okay. We're headed up Mission and Guerrero, and our goal is to get to Dolores Park to see the sunset. Dolores Park is probably the most popular park in San Francisco on a sunny day here in